East London Transit. East London Transit is a part-segregated bus transit system. What it means by part-segregated is that a usual rapid bus transit or busway or transitway is mostly segregated from the rest of the other transport and are designed to improve capacity and reliability. It's essentially supposed to combine the capacity of a metro line with the lower cost of a bus system, aka a bus tram. There aren't many segregated busways in the UK, as it's relatively a new concept. One that does come to mind is the Cambridgeshire Guided Busway. It opened as the longest busway at the time in 2011. This is fully segregated, unlike the East London Transit, which is only part segregated. The East London Transit system was developed by TfL to meet the existing and anticipated demand for public transport in East London. It connects with local National Rail, London Underground, TfL Rail and London Overground services. The East London Transit consists of 3 routes. The EL1, which replaced the previous 369 bus. This was a 24-hour service that initially ran from Thamesview Estate and Ilford. This route has been extended from Thamesview Estate to the new development at Barking Riverside. The EL2 route was split into 2 phases, with the first phase running from Dagenham Dock to Ilford until March 2016, where it ran to Becontree Heath, which meant it no longer ran alongside the EL1 after Barking. The EL3 replaced the previous route 387, which operated between Little Heath and Barking Riverside. The route operates 5 buses per hour from Monday to Saturday during the day and 3 buses per hour during the evenings and Sundays. This gives a frequency of 15 buses per hour going through the core from Barking to Thames Riverside Estates. In 2016 there was a bus network development paper which proposed a new EL4 route to run between Barking Riverside and Becontree Heath bus station via Becontree Underground station. The East London Transit uses route masters, which is not usually seen outside of central London, so it's quite a nice surprise and a nice treat for the Barking residents to receive such a premium bus service not in central London. I'm presuming these proposals were originally supposed to be for tramways, because in the proposal section back in the day, this was in the same section of proposal tram networks that are planning to go ahead. Going to the area, I'm not sure how a tram system would actually fit in, because the roads are not that wide. Like, it would have to, there's a lot of redevelopment would have to take place. But I mean, that's obvious when you have to put railways into the road. That's a lot of that's going to happen. But for example, the Croydon tram used existing railway plus roads that were relatively quite wide already. So having a tramway in Barking, I don't think would be that suitable. So I guess them having a bus service of the same bus and branded the same way as you see the East London Transit branding just signifies just this cohesiveness to it. Like, it just seems very in order and very just, everything seems like well managed. I know, like, but one thing I will say, I mean, I didn't go during peak hour time, so I might have not been the best judge for this, but the buses didn't seem that busy, especially the EL3. Like, I feel that EL3 wasn't that busy, but maybe I mostly stayed between the area of Ilford through Barking down to where Barking Riverside was. Yeah, but my view of it, the buses didn't seem that busy at all. But one of the main points of the East London Transit system was to provide transportation to the new redevelopment at Barking Riverside, which I'm not going from research was started over 15 years ago, and a lot of the people living in Barking Riverside have no or rubbish bus network. I don't know, like, I was doing a lot of research about it, and it's just Barking Riverside is really undeveloped, and they were promised a lot a long time ago and nothing's changing. But I mean, they are upgrading the London Overground to Barking Riverside, and that's quite cool. I'm excited about that, and plus they're getting they have the class 710s on there as well, because it's the Gospel to Barking line. So I mean, just the Barking Riverside residents just have to be patient, and then they will be provided with a very great transport hub. I think it's gonna give it 5 years once they've built the extension to Overground, and I will promise you the area will flourish significantly. But yeah, I do like the idea of East London Transit. I think it's a great system, and it does mimic a lot from a tramway system as well, in the sense that it has like a lot of tramway systems have a core, so that like they all branch off into different areas, but they always have a core where all the routes pass through. Yeah, and I feel like from my understanding of just transit systems in general, to do with like trains and buses and whatnot, having a mode of transport or a certain company or wherever that run all their services going through a few stations or a few stops that are the same really does provide a great service. For example, the East London line. So you got the trains coming from Clapham Junction, which is technically the South London line, but it comes onto the East London line. So I count it as the East London line. You got the trains coming from Crystal Palace, you got the trains coming from West Croydon, and you got the trains coming from New Cross, and they all enter the core at Surrey Quays, and they all go through the core up to Dalston Junction, where some of them finish at Dalston Junction and some of them continue on to Highbury and Islington. Then you've got the DLR, where not all, but the majority of the services pass through Popular. That aids it as well. And then you've also got Croydon Tramlink. They all pass through the same section of Croydon. That's been quite a successful thing. Then you also got Thameslink. All Thameslink services pass through the core between London Blackfriars and St Pancras International. Implementing these types of core services really help commuters coming from different parts of the service to interconnect at one point, and it really just helps with interchanging. And plus, it kind of gives more money to that specific provider, because that means customers won't be switching to other services to get to their destination if there's like a core where that one service interconnects with another thing. But yeah, Eastern Transit's great. I like what it's doing. Good transport links for somewhere that's quite out of London. You've got Hammersmith City Line, District Line, London Overground. Yeah, I feel like I'm waffling on now, but yeah, thanks for watching there.